If you do some investigating in the big rocks on the far side of the oak grove, you'll find deep round holes in them. These were not made by water like the wind caves. These holes are signs of the presence of native peoples from long ago.
This is the only evidence we have of Native Americans being here, the Indian grinding holes. It's a mortar bed, and they use pestles to pound acorns and other seeds to make a meal out of them. And these go back at least 5,000 years, perhaps even more.
Mount Diablo was very important for the Native Americans in Northern California. There was actually 3 tribes that visited Mount Diablo, 3 groupings. From the Central Valley, the Yukuts came in. There was the Bay Miwok and the Ohlone, and all used Mount Diablo. The men would go out hunting for deer. They might or might not catch anything that day. They'd come home and they need to be fed. And it was the women who did the really important work. They browned the acorns, and they made the foodstuffs out of the acorns, the staple of the Native American diet.
There's no evidence that they actually lived in the park. They lived in areas lower down, but they came up here to gather acorns, maybe came up for 2 or 3 days, and then went down to their settlements.
This would have been a great place because there's plenty of water around to help leach out tannic acid from the acorns. In fact, this particular sandstone, this Damangene sandstone, has lots of pounding rocks all the way down towards the Black Hills and into Morgan territory. It's probably a great rock to pound on because it's soft sandstone. But there's a lot of loose sand down there in the acorn. And if you didn't get that out, that would do some real harm to your teeth over time. Although the Native Americans had a much healthier diet and were healthier during their childhood and their adult life than the Europeans, what eventually did them in, archaeologists tell us, is that their teeth got worn down and they died of abscesses of pneumonia.
We talk about things in the park being old. The OCCC was here 75 years ago. My gosh, that's old. But then you look at these Indian grinding rocks, you almost picture Native Americans sitting up there. 5,000 years ago or more, people travel all over the world to see the pyramids at Giza. They could certainly come here and see older things.
Next, walk up the campground road. In 5 or 10 minutes, just before you get to the parking area on the ridge where we started, you'll see a pullout, a picnic area, and a huge rock on your left. That's Elephant Rock. Stop 9.